Welcome to the Stars in the Making with the mission to inspire and frame the future. The star is Gabe Elias, 24 years old, entrepreneur, born and raised in New England from Brazilian parents. His journey begins at 19 years old with a personal training business that he still runs. He's the CEO and co-founder of EVM, Home Improvement in Painting, growing the company from nothing to a seven-figure in revenue and 20 employees. He offers business coaching to help entrepreneurs succeed. The founder highlights, the journey hasn't been perfect. I had plenty ups and downs along the way, facing severe anxiety and depression to the point where I almost dropped out college. With the help of God, I overcame it all. Today, with a finance background and degree in science and physical education and coaching. On this episode with the Stars in the Making today, I'm here to share a bit of my story and inspire you to never give up on yourself. Remember, when you come from a working class family that gave it all for you, we are not here to impress or compete with anyone. We're here to change the storyline and battles our parents never won. Please welcome the star, Gabe Elias. Hey, how you doing, man?
What's up, Ricardo?
I'm doing great, man.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, amazing. It took a long time, a little while, but we finally made it.
Yeah, we're here.
Oh, man, thank you so much for coming to the Stars in the Making.
Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, so please introduce yourself and let's get on it.
Yeah, so
Yes,
my
sir.
name's Gabe Elias. I'm 24 years old. I'm from Leominster, Massachusetts. I'm Brazilian, oldest child, have a pretty big family. I have 4 siblings, my mom and my dad as well, and little Teddy, which is my puppy. But growing up, you know, I was the first generation, the oldest brother, so was always, you know, trying to set an example, you know, from my brothers. We never really grew up with money or anything like that, always a working class. My father and my mother came here at 20 years old from Brazil with absolutely nothing, you know, and my dad worked his ass off, you know what I mean? And got to build what we have now. So it was always inspirational for me to see, you know, always seeing my parents work really hard. And they also, you know, always pushed me in school. But that kind of definitely grew me into the man I am today.
Oh,
you know?
man. Let's get into, just at your age, 24.
Yeah.
I know you started at 19 years old.
Yeah.
And you scale your business the way you are now. It's pretty amazing, man.
Thank you.
Motivational. 24 years old, and you already. How many people you have worked for you now?
We have for EVM we have about 15 people.
Yeah, by the way, EVM.
Yeah.
So you got a lot going on. So let me not mess that up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the EVM.
I will. Yeah. So yeah, my entrepreneurial journey started at about 19. I'd say it was right around COVID time. It started with online fitness coaching because I have a social media, Gabe Elias Fitness.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first few people in my town to really start posting fitness videos, fitness content. Started growing a following. You know, my friends always asked me for fitness programs, and I became like the fitness guy. You know, 19 years old, and so I started some online coaching. And it was really for like a month or two. That was my first 10K month. I felt like I was on top of the world, 19 years old. You know, I was like, I'm getting rich. That only lasted like 2 months, you know, because then I went off to college.
Yeah.
So went to Providence College my freshman year in Rhode Island. And so once I went to Providence, I kind of stopped the coaching. But that was like a little taste, my first taste of entrepreneurship. Like, hey, I could work for myself one day, you know. Studied finance in Providence. Right before COVID, and then towards the spring semester is when COVID hit. We had to come back home and do online classes, right? So started doing online classes, finished, summer came along, and then my sophomore year of college, it was still COVID. Fall semester was just online, and that was my first time that life really kind of punched me in the face.
Yeah.
You know, I was 19, 20 years old. And that was the first time I realized I definitely had I was struggling with mental health. You know, it was the first time I had like my first anxiety attack.
Why is that?
It was a combination of some things. I think it was, you know, the whole COVID being online. I know that messed up a lot of people. Just staying home, quarantining, right? Couldn't go to the gym, had to wear a mask everywhere.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was also just, I don't know, it kind of all hit me at once. You know, there was some other personal things that occurred, and it kind of hit me hard in the face, like hit me like a train. And I was like, I need to seek some help, because it was getting pretty bad. And so, I seeked a therapist. It was the first time I seeked a therapist, and I actually ended up being diagnosed with GAD, which is generalized anxiety disorder. That's when you have anxiety, not just like social anxiety. It's kind of anxiety about everything, and it was tough. I had some OCD too, and it was just a lot on my mind. There was a lot going on. I almost dropped out of school, almost dropped out of Providence, because I was like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I like to call it like a little quarter life crisis, right, is what I like to call it. I mean, I was only like 19, 20 years old,
Yeah, very young.
But at the time period, I thought my life was like, I thought something was wrong with me, or I was just like, all right, I guess this is just how I am, and I'm just going to live my life always anxious and like fearing things, But a couple months passed by, and, I got the help I needed, and I got better. But what really helped me was entrepreneurship. It was working for myself.
I wanted to go a little bit back.
Yeah.
Rewind a little bit the story.
Yeah.
Like how you really started at 19 years old.
Yeah.
So that idea just came right away, or
yeah. It's a great story. That's a great question too. So what ended up happening was, instead of dropping out, I transferred to Bridgewater State.
Yeah.
Right.
So what did you study again?
I was studying finance at Providence College. Thought I wanted to get into, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Right. I always knew I wanted to work for myself one day, but as a kid, there's a lot of pressure. You don't know what you want to do. So I was studying finance, but I didn't like it. I was going through a little quarter life crisis, like I mentioned, mental health. I was about to drop out. And then I was given the idea to pursue physical education. That's just being a gym teacher, right? That's completely different. And it was the first time that I felt comfortable. I think that had me feeling safe. And I wouldn't recommend just doing things to make you feel safe, but at that moment I did that, right? So I pulled the trigger. I transferred to Bridgewater State University right outside of Boston, and I pursued physical education. But this is where it gets interesting. In the process of me transferring from Providence College to Bridgewater State, I received an email, an advertising email, like a recruiting email for an internship, right? And the internship is young entrepreneurs across America. They're nationwide. They teach college students how to run their own business. And the email caught my attention. And literally a week after that, my Providence email got shut down. So it was like meant to be. Everything happens for a reason.
Wow.
I responded to the email because it said like, are you interested in an entrepreneurship internship, business management, marketing, sales? It said our average intern makes $12K in the summer. And at that time period, I was like, I want to make $12,000 in the summer. I'm 19, 20 years old. Yeah. I responded to the email, totally forgot about it. And then, a week or two later goes by, I get reached out by the company. I do my first round interview, second round interview, I get accepted. And so now everyone's kind of like, you just left Providence, you just left business, but you're going back into business now, right? You just transferred from business to phys ed, and now you're doing a business internship. And I just kind of ran with it. I was like, you know what? It grabbed my attention. I got hired, so I'm going to do it. Now, the internship taught me how to run my own exterior painting business. They own student painters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you go into that, you say something very important.
Yeah.
When you say you shouldn't do things that make you feel safe, do things that make you feel safe, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because I think that's a good point.
It is, yeah. I think the reason I transferred was because I was outside of my comfort zone and I was a little scared. I was scared of the unknown. I was scared of like, what am I going to do for a living? What does my future hold? And that's why I made that decision. But looking back, I never had to transfer. You know what I mean? It was always going to find me. I truly believe in faith, and everything happens for a reason. Like, I'm a Christian, and I really, truly believe that even if I transferred or not, even if I dropped out, I'd still be where I am today, because everything happens for a reason. But the reason I bring that up is a lot of people nowadays, they're too comfortable. They're way too comfortable. And
it's true.
If you don't get outside of your comfort zone, you're never going to reach your limits. You're never going to reach your potential.
Yeah, and especially at your age,
yeah.
You had a support system like your mom, your dad.
For sure.
Do they help you on that, or was just your own idea to pursue this?
It was a combination of both. The internship and the idea was me, but I'm lucky that my family always supports me. My siblings look up to me. Again, I'm the oldest child. My parents always support me with whatever my goals are. You know, if I wanted to drop out, they were gonna support me. You know, they wanted me to do what made me happy at the end of the day. But long story short, I accepted the internship.
Yes,
right?
Go ahead. Yeah.
And my first year, I went off. I did my thing. I broke some company records. I did about.
Again, I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
I was able to see on you were on the magazine or some newspaper
yeah.
talking about you.
Yeah.
That's why I showed to Shams like,
Yeah.
oh wow, this is really amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that whole journey started with the internship, right? I did really well in about like 6 months, but only 3 months of actual production. I ran about a $200,000 business. Painting homes, and I never touched a paintbrush in my life. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I didn't know a single thing about painting, my man. And all of my workers were college students as well, because it was a college internship. Wow. But that internship, I like to say, changed my life. I don't want to talk too much about it because there's way more to my story.
Yeah, of course.
But that internship, right, I did that for 1 year. I broke some company records, got some exposure, newspaper articles, podcasts. I felt like I was on top of the world. I was like, all right, I'm an entrepreneur.
And you
right?
are. At your age, you definitely are.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then second year, they promoted me to be an executive. I joined, and then I also had a team of other college students that I now mentored and consulted on how to do what I did my first year, how to run their own business. Did that for a year, and after that, I took what I learned and I ran with it, man. And that's when I launched EVM. Wow. EVM Home Improvement and Painting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you doing in Massachusetts, the whole Massachusetts, is that correct?
Yeah, we serve all of Massachusetts. We're starting to expand into New Hampshire as well. I mean, I want to be nationwide, really. I want to serve everywhere.
You're coming really, really great.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
And how many people do you, in your story, just by reading your story,
Yeah.
you work with your dad as well?
Yeah, so my father, he's always done construction, right, his whole life. And now he basically works with me. Yeah, he works with me. So,
and how many people work for you again? I think it's like
I would say right now about 15.
15 people.
Yep, 15.
Oh, wow.
Human capital is never an issue. Like a lot of people want to work for us, which is a blessing. I think we're very active on social media. They see what we're about and they believe in us. So we always get people wanting to work with us. Unfortunately, I can't hire all of Massachusetts, not quite yet. But yeah, so I have my partner LJ. For EVM. EVM is EVM Home Improvement and Painting. So we do construction and painting. I have my partner LJ Van Mol, and then my father, serves as like our foreman. You know what I mean? He'll build you a house from scratch. He's a beast. Wow. I can't do any of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
And then we have our team. We have our painters, our laborers. We have our assistant Delise, who's new, and yeah, we have a little team that we've been building throughout these last 2-3 years.
That's amazing, man. And what is your strategies, your marketing strategies?
That's a great question. So far, I'd say in the last 3 years, we've been able to be a multi-7-figure business off of literally all organic social media.
Yes.
Which is the power of social media. And people really don't realize it. I think people get caught up in the whole, I need to pay for Facebook ads. I need to boost my posts, which is all... That's a whole different niche, and it works. But what we've been able to do these last 3 years have been really, like, I'd say 75% of it has been organic social media through Facebook, through Instagram, through TikTok, really through just documenting our journey, Yes. And I think throughout these last 3 years, I've slowly been able to build a personal brand for myself before I even knew what a personal brand was.
Right.
And that's all from picking up the camera and kind of just sharing my life.
That's shooting, right.
And
what is your take on people? So you think that people should focus more on social media in order for them to,
I think there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of social media tactics, channels of marketing, right? There's so many different marketing strategies. I think it depends on your business and your business model. I think if you're a service-based business, I think organic social media plays a huge impact, because a lot of people focus on the physical marketing, I like to call it, whether it's like door hangering, whether it's putting out lawn signs, whether it's door knocking on doors, those physical types of marketing tactics. And they don't realize the power of just posting every day, sharing to Facebook, sharing to groups, really like making noise through social media. And I think that's that's a big strength of mine is I'm good at making some noise, you know, in a good way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because let's not forget about that. You are a business consultant.
Yes.
Yeah. You just started.
I just started.
Talk about it a little bit more.
Yep. So, you know, I have EVM Home Improvement and Painting, which is my construction and painting business. And then I have Elias Consulting, which I recently just started, which I'll touch base on now. Right. So I just, throughout the years, I've realized that I'm so passionate about entrepreneurship, but I like to see others win, you know, and I think that a lot of people come to me for advice, even though I'm so young. So that's a blessing, you know, first of all, that's a blessing.
And you're killing it. So
I appreciate it. And so I just love to help people. And recently it kind of just fell in my hands. People are wanting to pay for my time, and they're wanting to seek me for help and guidance, you know, consulting, mentorship. And I think out of everything I've done so far in my life, like that's definitely the most rewarding. So recently I launched Elias Consulting, still in the works, but I have about 15 one-on-one mentoring clients right now that I help them grow and scale their businesses. So if you're, you know, an entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur, you know, whether you're young, whether you're old, doesn't matter about your age, I'm more than happy to help you. Whether you want to start a business or you already have a business and you're looking to grow and scale it from 6 figures to 7 figures. That's what I help people do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your business, your painting business and
Yeah.
home, it's a 7-figure business now.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's really cool.
And that's 3 years. So we're growing quick.
Only in 3 years.
Yeah. We're growing quick.
That's really fast.
It's exciting. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming in a good way.
Talking about it's overwhelming. Talk about the pros and cons, because I know for sure there is many people out there that think that it's just starting a business is a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to go through a lot. I'd love to touch into this because this is not, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
You got to put in the work.
Yeah.
You can't just lay down and say, I'm going to start a business and you sit there. So
no, I mean, I'll tell you.
Talk about the pros and cons.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I mean, business is not meant for everyone, right? We were just talking about it. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Everyone would be a millionaire running their own business, working for themselves. It's not easy. You know, I think the pros is it definitely comes down to freedom, not just financial freedom, but being able to make your own schedule, you know, being able to put in your time for your family, for your friends, and do whatever you want to do. Because at the end of the day, once you really build a business and the systems are in place, the business runs itself and you can kind of step back, you know, and that's when you know you really made it, is when the business is running without you in the picture. It's hard to do, right? You need the right team, you need the systems in place. So that's what I'm always striving to do. But I think that's the pro, is being able to, you know, work for yourself, build a legacy, create something that's more than just working for someone or working for corporate. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, everyone's meant to do, you know, whatever they want to do. But the pros is definitely freedom, financial freedom, freedom to be able to travel, freedom to be able to work at 9 a.m. or 6 a.m.
It's your own time.
It's your own time.
It's amazing, man.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Indeed.
But people fall in the trap of like, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur, but they don't understand that it's not easy, you know? It's not easy. So in regards to the cons, I mean, there's a lot of cons. I mean, first of all, it's a risk. You're taking a risk, you know? Not only a financial risk, because most of the time you need some sort of capital to start up, you know, to at least invest into the business, but it's also a risk in regards to your time, right? If you do this for 2 years and it doesn't work out, that was 2 years that didn't work out.
I want to touch into that.
Yeah.
So, talking about failure.
Yep.
Right? When you're doing something, how do you deal yourself when something doesn't go the way you planned?
Go well, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think throughout the years I've gotten a lot better at this. I think like when I was younger, I was a lot more stubborn, you know, and I would let my emotions get to me a lot more. Now that I'm getting older and I'm learning more and I'm, you know, seeking, you know, mentors, I've realized you gotta really embrace the failures. You know, you gotta enjoy to fail. You know, I like to always tell even my mentoring clients is like, you gotta learn to love being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Yeah. Once you love to be uncomfortable, nothing can stop you in this world. You know what I mean? You'll feel unstoppable. And it takes a while to get there, but you only get there through failures, right? So you got to realize that failures are going to come, right? There's going to be ups and downs. But nothing is gonna, you're not gonna get to where you want to be without those downs, without those lows, without those failures.
There is something else that I wanted to go with it. How do you deal with everything? So you deal with your company, and plus the clientele from your
mentorship,
fitness,
and fitness,
personal business, and mentorship, because this is a lot.
It's a lot.
So how do you put everything together?
That's a great question, and I'm still trying to figure it out till this day, because we didn't talk about it yet. But
just to get you here on the Stars in the Making was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
Was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was.
Took
I'm
like
a busy
3
guy.
months just to get him right here.
He's
doing
guy.
a lot.
Yeah,
he's busy. So
yeah, like I said, we have EVM, we have Elias Consulting, and then we have G Elite Fitness, which you just touched on, which is the online fitness coaching, personal training. How I balance the three, I'm still trying to figure that out till this day. Having an assistant helps tremendously. Being able to delegate tasks to a team member is huge. That's something I learned just these last few weeks. And if I could go back, I wish I could have hired an assistant like last year. Would have made my life a lot easier. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to like, how bad do you want it? It sounds corny, but if you really want it, you're going to get it done, regardless of how hard it is, regardless of how long it takes. But going back to the cons, right? I catch myself working right now 50, 60-hour weeks. My weekends are work, Saturday, Sunday is work for me. So it's like Monday through Sunday, I'm working.
No video games.
No time for video games.
No watching dramas.
No, you can't really. I mean, my only free time for the most part, I would say, is like the gym. And even in the gym, I'm on my freaking phone and I'm like, dude, I gotta throw this phone away because I need to at least concentrate on my workouts, So it's tough, but I think time management's huge. Having a calendar is huge. I really utilize Google Calendar, and I really break down all my days hourly by hourly, so I know exactly what I'm doing every hour of my day. And things change, you know what I mean? But I don't just wake up on a Monday and I'm like, oh, let me look at my schedule. Like, you got to be organized. You got to be systemized. So I've systemized, a routine where I know that from, Monday through Friday, I'm working on EVM because EVM is my priority. And then on the weekends, I'm working on Elias Consulting and G Elite Fitness. Is that fun? No, because I don't really have weekends to enjoy. But I know why I'm doing it. I also love doing it, so it doesn't feel like work for me, and that's where I think I'm truly blessed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Talk to us about emergency.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you have, what is the end goal?
Yeah.
When you work like that, you got to have something in mind.
Like
at this time, I got to be here or I got to be there. So do you have something in mind?
Yeah.
As an end goal?
An end goal, yeah. I think I'm still trying to figure out what that end goal is, but at the end of the day, I definitely want to be like financially free, and I want to be able to take care of like all my family, my loved ones, and also my friends, So I don't see myself ever retiring because I love to work. Like I'll be 80 years old and I'll be trying to like build a gym or something, That's going to be like, that's just who I am. But my end goal, I think, is really just, again, is freedom, is chasing that just not only financial freedom, but also freedom in my time, freedom with my time with family, with friends, traveling the world. So I guess the end goal is just being really, financially free, but also being able to inspire and motivate others and then help those in need, right? I would love to retire my parents, retire my family, and just be able to know in the back of my mind, like, okay, my kids are set for life. I'd say that's the end goal, is the legacy.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
Takes a lot to get there.
It's not easy.
It takes a lot.
Yeah.
And one thing that I really love about your story, in helping others, and I can see that into your fitness page, into everything that you do, your business. It's really amazing, man.
Thank you.
It's really amazing. And you talk about real estate. You're eventually going to jump into real estate.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
You want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I actually 2 weeks ago I landed my first real estate investment property, which is pretty cool. So,
oh really?
Yeah, EVM. We just purchased our own commercial building in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. What we're going to turn out of that for now is that's going to be our little compound. That's going to be our home for EVM. So it's going to be business space, offices, conference room, kitchen. There's going to be a showroom for our customers. to walk in and look at all the services we provide, painting, flooring, whatever it may be, and being able to kind of get consulted with home improvement services. There's going to be a little lounge, a little common room, living room area, put some nice TVs, everything like that. And then we're going to have some garage spaces as well for like the carpentry shop and for spraying too, spray painting.
Wow.
Because we do a lot of spraying. So that's our first real estate investment. It was an abandoned restaurant. It's been abandoned for 6 years, and it's been in Fitchburg, and we finally closed on that. Hasn't hit me yet, but we're in the process of remodeling. We just completely emptied out the place, and we're starting demo next week. We're going to start the demo process next week. Yeah.
That's amazing.
But the goal is to tap into that. We would like to, because we have like EVM home improvement construction. We have a painting division, which is EVM painting. Our third division we really want to open up is like, we haven't figured out the name yet, and it's more down the road, but we want it to be real estate, flipping, development, just all real estate investment type of division. So it's a lot of work, but that's something I want to, get my feet on for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely, I'm so proud of you in what you do.
Thank you.
You're inspiring too many people out there, especially the youth. You're amazing at 24 years old, and everything that you're doing, you have done, it's so inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
The whole team in the Stars in the Making, we are definitely proud of you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
What is one thing that you wanted to say to any upcoming star, someone who's starting from scratch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, no one's going to do it for you. You got to want it. No one's going to do it for you. No one's going to come and save you. And so if you want something, you got to set a goal, but not only set a goal. After you set a goal, you got to set a plan to accomplish that goal, right? Because you're not going to accomplish a goal with no plan. And then after you set that plan, I like to tell everyone, set a big goal, create a schedule and a plan of how you're going to hit that goal. Go from 1 year to monthly to weekly to daily and to hourly. You got to reverse it. So then you know exactly what you have to do every day to get to that goal. And as you do all those daily tasks, you're going to get small wins that are going to compound over time and allow you to hit that goal of yours. I think that's the biggest thing, because when you have a lot of goals and you keep it in your mind, it's a lot of things in your mind. You got to write it down. You got to have it on paper and create a plan to do it. But at the end of the day, I've heard this in other videos too. Like, if someone came up to you and was like, you need to make $10,000 this month or else you lose your family. I know that's very extreme. God forbid something like that. I guarantee you're going to make that 10K. You're going to do everything in your power to make it.
True.
So what does that show you, right? That shows you that your why, right? Your why to keep your family safe is so important to you. So that's the second thing I would say, is make sure your why and your purpose is so important to you that you'll do anything in your power to accomplish that goal.
That was really motivating, guys. There is something you want to send a shout out to your team or something like that?
For sure, yeah.
Because we are pretty much at the very end.
Yeah,
and
no.
let's kill it.
All glory to God. I couldn't be where I am without, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And then,
Amen.
of course, my team, both my team at EVM and, my employees, my partner, LJ, my family, my girlfriend, Gabriella, who's over there in the corner.
Yeah, she's right there.
She's
behind
hanging out
the scenes.
over there behind the scenes. But, she supports me so much. My family supports me so much. And I'm a workaholic at the end of the day, and,
Awesome.
But they know why I do it. And soon I'll be able to slow down a bit, but then I'll also be able to give them the world. And that's my goal. So they see my vision and they back it up. So I shout out to my family and my team for sure, because I couldn't do anything without them.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we are right here. We're going to back it up. Anything that you do. And you're always welcome to the Stars in the Making.
Thank you, my man.
And we're definitely going to make sure to expose all these good knowledge of yours.
For sure.
And again, we appreciate you being on the Stars in the Making.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Yep. Guys, you got it. I'm not going to add anything. He said everything. Gabe Elias, entrepreneurs, is 24 years old. I hope you're not just sitting there in your mom's basement doing, asking for $10. Please go. Work hard. Start from the beginning and get it. All right?
Go get it.
So, Stars in the Making, and we out.
Fire.
Thank you.
My man.
This was amazing.
That was fun.
Your content is amazing. And you can